Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Carl Grimes and his death and just how it worked out for the Walking Dead universe. And my opinion on this has changed, I have to say. I've mentioned multiple times throughout the year I've been doing this channel that I didn't mind Carl dying. It didn't ruin the show for me. Multiple people have said throughout, the time since Carl died that him dying ruined the show. It ruined the experience for them, right? Because Carl was supposed to be the future of The Walking Dead. And obviously now that's kind of shifted to Judith and stuff like that, right? Where we think there's probably a good chance we'll see Judith as the lead of The Walking Dead, in 5 to 10 years. I think that's a very good possibility. And a lot of people were saying that's supposed to be Carl, right? A lot of people think that. A lot of people feel that. Um, and I've always said I never minded Carl's death. It didn't do anything negative for me. It didn't impact me in a negative way because honestly, truthfully, being transparent and honest with you guys, I was never the biggest fan of Carl. I was never a huge fan of the character, to be honest. And I don't know. Now that I'm 24, I'm getting older. The Walking Dead is in the state that it's in, which I think it's in a solid place. I'm not saying I think The Walking Dead is in a bad spot at all. I'm just saying so many characters have died. I think Carl Grimes being alive would be a really beneficial thing for the franchise. If the story played out the exact way it did, but Carl just lived, imagine that reunion in The Ones Who Live with Carl, Judith, RJ, right? Um, it would have been awesome to see Rick with his kids again and have Carl there and stuff like that, right? It just would have been awesome. And truthfully, Carl didn't need to die. I don't think Carl's death really did anything super significant for the franchise. I don't think it was a good death even, right? He just got bit. It wasn't like he went out some epic way, right? You think Rick Grimes and his kid and everything like that, you think he'd go out like an absolute bad A, right? But the truth is, it was just a very underwhelming death. I've gone back and I've rewatched the episode just to make sure that that's really how I'm feeling now, and it's definitely the case. I honestly believe Carl should have lived. And it's taken me a long time to come up with this opinion, to come to this conclusion. I've always felt like I just don't care about Carl. I never liked him that much. He was always like a C tier character, in my opinion. It had nothing to do with Chandler Riggs or his acting. I know throughout the Walking Dead original series, many people were saying, that Chandler Riggs was a bad actor and he was an underwhelming actor. I don't necessarily agree. I think he is a solid actor. I do think there were a couple scenes where we could sit here and nitpick for sure and be like, oh wow, he was really bad here, or he looked kind of cringe, or there was a lot of talk like that back in the day. But personally, I never minded his acting. I thought he was a fine actor. I thought he did a really good job in certain scenes for sure. Um, Obviously, in some other scenes, he probably could have done better. But that's everybody, right? Nobody's perfect. There's obviously levels to the acting and stuff like that. But I would say, for me, it was just the character never stole the show, never stole the screen, right? You look at some of these characters like a Rick Grimes, a Michonne, a Glenn, even a Abraham, the charisma, right? The screen presence, they had that. I just never felt that with Carl. I never felt that. He just always kind of seemed like a bump on a log to me, right? Just there. He was just there surviving. I never felt like it was Rick's son. You know what I mean? You think of Rick's son, like I said earlier, and you think of someone that's just a bad A. And I just never got that vibe from Carl. So that's why I've personally never really liked Carl that much. But with that being said, the current state of The Walking Dead, I think Carl being alive would be awesome. I think him reuniting with Rick in The Ones Who Live, that end scene would have just been a little bit more special. I don't know. I don't think Carl's death killed The Walking Dead at all. I'm not saying that. I know a lot of people thought that back in the day. A ton of people were saying back when Carl died that, The Walking Dead is over now, it's done, it's a done deal, whatever. I never agreed with that. Obviously, the spin-offs disprove that for sure. But I don't know. I think towards the end of The Walking Dead original series, I think the characters were really thinning out, man. I think the good characters were thinning out. You know what I mean? Magna's group was not really that impressive. The only really cool character from that group, in my opinion, was Connie. And a lot of people just, I think a lot of people felt the same way I felt. A lot of people were just unimpressed and a little bit bored with some of the characters that were in The Walking Dead down the stretch. And having characters like Glenn, characters like Abraham, characters like Carl, having those characters gone really said a lot about what they did for The Walking Dead, right? It really showed you, like the whole you don't know what you have till it's gone, right? It showed us a lot. And that really showed because the characters they brought in to replace those characters just weren't that exciting, right? Like the side characters just didn't really do it for me personally. Like I said, Magnus Group wasn't that awesome. The Commonwealth, not that many cool characters in the Commonwealth, honestly. The only cool character in the Commonwealth, in my opinion, was Mercer. He was the only charismatic, really watchable character. I really think Mercer needs like a spin-off or he needs to be involved in the future of The Walking Dead 100%. I really love Mercer. So I think, yeah, I think in the end, Carl's death didn't kill The Walking Dead, but I honestly think he should have lived, right? So I have changed my tune just a little bit with that because, part of me had always said, I don't care that Carl died, I could care less. But as I've gone back and rewatched the show multiple times, I've, rewatched the spin-offs and everything, and I was just sitting here thinking, having Carl alive right now would be pretty awesome, right? That reunion scene would have just been a little bit better. The future of The Walking Dead would be a little bit brighter. Having Carl alive in the show, especially after Rick left, would have been really cool. Imagine that time jump, seeing an older Carl, right? In season 9, episode 6. Imagine seeing a Carl like what you're seeing on the screen right here. You know what I mean? Just an older, more mature Carl. Especially with Judith and stuff, their dynamic, their relationship could have been so cool. Having an older Judith and an older Carl and Michonne, it would have made season 9, 10, and 11 a lot better, in my opinion. And if you were going to kill him off in the later seasons of The Walking Dead, if he didn't die in season 8, right? You could have had him go out in an awesome way that was super bad A and awesome and incredible and intense. Not like, oh, I got bit by a zombie in the woods. You know what I mean? It just seemed underwhelming and kind of wimpy to me. Rick's son, if he's going to go out, he should go out like an absolute bad A. And I know they tried to do that in the season 8 mid-season finale with him, throwing the smoke grenades and stuff like that and helping everybody get under in the sewers, and he led people to safety, and that's great. But I think it just would have been cooler if he kind of went out, almost like Glenn almost went out in season 6, episode 9. You guys remember when Glenn was trying to distract all the walkers from Maggie when she was up on that post, remember? And they were all surrounding him, and he was just punching all the zombies in the face and shooting them and stuff. It was just crazy, right? Crazy intense. Something like that. That's how Carl should have gone out, in my opinion. Not, I got bit by a walker in the woods trying to help somebody. I don't know. It seemed wimpy, but it is what it is. Overall, it didn't bother me back then. It still doesn't bother me now, really, but I just wish Carl was alive for this future Walking Dead plan. You know what I mean? So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. I really appreciate all the love and all the support. It really means the world to me. I'm getting a lot of free time now, so expect pretty much daily uploads. I'm going to be very consistent now, so I appreciate all your love and all your support. Please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more Walking Dead content just like this. I will see you guys in the next video, which is going to be a Q&A. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Stay safe out there in the crazy world, man. I love you guys. Peace out.